today's stop loss cluster video for the 17th of March 2021 for the QuasiDB service. We'll start with gold because gold's actually moved the most on the bubble chart. The MyFX book guys have actually sold it quite a bit, and because of that the gold bubble has drifted westerly into buy area on our bubble analysis. There's that move for MyFX book. There, the orange line there. The average line is ticking up though, so that's definitely worth noting, and it's going to be probably worth your while to get the FX SSI indicators so you can look at the ratios. We can rely on MyFX book, but you know, there's Saxo Bank, SSI, Awanda, IG, Dukascopy, FX Blue, Forex Factory. So it creates an aggregate of all of these. So we can rely on MyFX book, or we could also rely on these two. MyFX book are very, very useful because they're so erratic, they can tend to lead the pack. So it's definitely still worth looking at the bubbles, of course, but it's definitely worthwhile having a look at the others as well, just, you know, for confidence reasons. MyFX book, you see there, 58% long. So we should be falling, but it does depend what they do dynamically. If they short it, which is what they have been, then we might see price rise. And it went sideways. We're seeing a tiny tick up, so they're going long, but only a tiny little amount. I think we might get the SLC above because it coincides with the upper downtrend, the trend line that I drew on the technical channel, and so it coincides with that stop loss cluster, and perhaps even further higher, and then we can fall technically anyway. But sentimentally we're a sell, and on the average we're also dynamically a sell too. US 500, the area of interest for a buy signal would be above 3968. Don't necessarily buy now, but this is your point of control. So this would be your entry and potential stop loss as well. So you keep it nice and tight, good risk management, and we can potentially bounce off that, and then we can rock it. Because we're in uncharted territory, we don't have any resistance to the left, so I think it could be possible we might come and get that support on the 14th of Feb, which is Valentine's Day support, the point of control there. So it's fairly old, it's quite strong, and that's at 3931, so it's not too far away. We can perhaps bounce on that, and then we can have some resistance and then potential buy opportunity there if you want to go long. The sentiment is very much pointing forward to buy the dips because of the sentiment is very much strong buy because the retail guys are shorting it and then adding to that short. And yesterday they crushed the VIX below 20. So obviously they're showing who's boss, and you know, if they can cross the VIX below 20, then everything is fine, you know. So, but we are above 20 now, so it's going to be worth watching the VIX. But I think these two levels will definitely come into play. Keep an eye on 3931, 3968, and it'll be a buy opportunity here and a buy opportunity here. But be careful because we, you know, like I say, we're in uncharted territory. We'll get to 4,000 and it'll just crush the bears. Because the VIX is being hammered, we can go up and take their stops. So keep those levels in mind. I think it would be a good buy up there. AJ on above 84.81, 84.83. We're a buy. Signal saying to wait. Sideways in the dynamic on AU. They haven't want to get it yet. They're waiting, I think, just waiting patiently for that liquidity. It's too big to ignore, I think. SSC 77.41 and 77 on the dot. Buy, signal saying to wait. So it might come up to just to tease them a little bit more in order to screw that little bit more people, and those late bulls, they'll enter, and then they'll pump price down, and we'll get that stop loss cluster here, and trapping the bulls in the process. And once they've trapped them, then we can fall even more. We are below monthly pivot, so that's your line in the sand. Okay. EA 15475, 15359. Yeah, obviously if this rallies, it's going to hurt the Aussie. So, obviously we've broken that trend line, and we have the below monthly pivot too. Signal center buy, so, and the sentiment center sell, so there's a mismatch there. EU, there's a trend line. We're below that. Monthly pivots up here, so technically we're a sell. Sentimentally we're a buy. Signal center weight. Zoom in. 119.19, 118.79. GU. There's your monthly pivot. So if you're trading this pair, keep an eye on 139.09. And I posted some stuff on the technical channel as well. So that coincides with the point of control near enough. It's really interesting actually. The monthly pivot is at the point of control by 9 pips. SLC above 13950, 13876, sideways there, and we're a buy, and the signal center buy. NU 7204, 7138, open that trend line. We're a buy, signal center weight. It's looking a little bit bearish here. EJ, we'll get this stop loss cluster. This is what I've been looking at today. I think this is going to be likely. This is very, we've been skewed for a long time, so we have to take stops out in order to change the ratio. The SLC above is 13010 and 12939, so we're very close. Yeah, we're 10 pips away from getting that stop loss cluster. MR1 13034. So yeah, I think we'll get that, and then we can fall potentially. But we are a buy on the sentiment, so it depends what they do with their stops. If they move them higher, then we'll go up and take their stops. So it's a pain train, a signal center buy. So, and the moving average trend is strong on all time frames. Pound yen above 15230 and 15148. There's your MR1 at 15160. Buy. Moving average trend is strong all time frames. So yeah, and we'll probably come up and get that. I think we're going to see lots of stops getting hunted down because they're large. It's not your typical week because we've got large stop loss clusters pretty much across the board, and I think that's going to be likely, as with EJ as well. Dollar yen, this one's large at 109.30. One below, it's 108.75. It's so close now to the Fed meeting. That's going to get taken, I think. We're only 14 pips away. They'll ramp price up, take that, then we can fall potentially. We are a buy here, signal center weight. My FX book are very skewed. It's at 11% long, 89% are bearish. So very painful for those guys. Ouch. So yeah, up there to punish those people here, and then that will flip over, and then we can see the price potentially fall. Yeah, and don't forget to remember to look at your 10-year Treasury yield as well, because that is very UJ is very sensitive to that. If that's rallying, this will rally and it will ignore, technicals and sentiment and stuff like that, because the fundamentals are very strong. The correlation of UJ and the 10-year has always been a strong correlation. So that stop loss cluster is looking likely, I think. Dollar CAD 125.20, 124.29. Broken that trend line. We're below monthly pivot. In fact, a lot of pairs are below monthly pivot. Signal center weight, the sentiment center sell. The SLC below is larger of the two by quite a bit. Yeah, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that one. It's a bit tricky. Obviously, look at oil, this one as well. Dollar Swiss. That looked like a stop hunt. This wick that's very wicky. How tall was that? It's 15 pip. So I think that could have been a stop hunt. I didn't know where it was before. The new one above is 93 on the dot. One below is 92.30. So yeah, it's quite cruel. We're now a sell. When I did the update about 10 minutes ago it was 50-50, but we flipped over. So I think that was what that achieved. That actually caused them to reverse their position, and now we can fall. So yeah, it's pretty cruel. Done gold. So that fallen does agree with the high level, and it does agree with the low level. This is the low level movement across time. This is the high level snapshot data, like a photograph. This is a movie, so you can see things happening in real time. Signal saying to sell. So yeah, it looks good for a short. Um, and I think we could probably get this stop loss cluster 17.25. We're only $4 away, and potentially we can come down to 1700. So there's a node here, some orders there, so we could potentially come down, grab that, and then we might bounce. But it could be a good trade to the short side, so we'll have to wait and see. And remember, the COT data was bearish as well. I'll wrap up now. Fingers crossed the Fed meeting goes as planned, as expected. I think it's going to be like a non-event, but who's to say? Just remember, risk management is king. Always have your good risk management and tight stops if you can, and reduce your position size on days like this where it's very volatile, and that will pay dividends in the long run. You don't want to be using large lot sizes on Fed days, not really, and also NFP days as well. And if you're trading the pound, we've got the BOE tomorrow as well. So I'll wrap up now, and I hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.